In this video, let us apply a normality test on the continuous data that we have got here in order to check what sort of test can be applied. We need to check, does our test come under parametric test or a non-parametric test? It is completely based on the distribution that we would be checking right now. It is important that we always check the normality of the data that we have received, because one is that we would get to know what sort of distribution our data is having, and the next we would get a knowledge to know what sort of test can be applied in order to receive our results. There are two types of tests that can be applied in SPSS to check the normality of the data, completely based on the sample size. If we have a very large sample size, it is better that we always stick to the test of kurtosis and skewness. But vice versa, if our data is very lesser, say for a sample size that is just 25 to 50, we can try applying a different test on it called shapiro wilk. So as our data is just 50 sample size here, let us apply a shapiro wilk test on this data. So before applying the test, we need to be sure on which sets of questions are we applying the data on. If we are including or testing all the Likert scale data into testing any sort of objectives or hypothesis we have, then it is very important that we include all of these and get to know what sort of distribution we have. So right now, let's check the normality of it. What are descriptives? Go to explore, and I've given certain values here. Let me add 3. Clicking OK here. Because it is a lot of statements that we have given here, it might take some while. So here we can check the test for normality that we have here. So under the significance column for each of Kolmogorov and Shapiro-Wilk work, we can see that majority of the values here are lesser than 0.05, which means that all our Likert scale data are not normally distributed. Okay, so it is better we try to apply any sort of non-parametric test on this data. This is how a normality test is conducted. And the ideal values for Shapiro-Wilk test is that all the values of the significance level in Shapiro-Wilk column should be greater than 0.05. Only then we can judge that our data is normally distributed and we can try applying parametric test on it. But as of now, we could see that most of the data is not normally distributed. It is better we try to apply non-parametric test on it as per our objectives.